Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. It's that time again to do our final record predictions. The team that we're going to be taking an in-depth look at today is going to be the Auburn Tigers. We're going to look at their 2025 college football schedule. We're going to go game by game, break down every single matchup, and try to predict their final record, which games they're going to win, lose, what the final scores might be, and we'll also be touching on the roster, some of the pieces they added from last season, some of the pieces they lost from last season. What's the momentum this season? Will they be able to get back to a bowl game? Will they be able to compete in the SEC this year? First things first, though, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, drop them below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? What are your thoughts on Auburn? What do you think their record's going to be? If you drop a comment, I will make sure that I respond to every single one of them. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, make sure to check out the pinned comment down below. Click on that link. If you sign up, I would definitely appreciate it. So the 2025 Auburn team, this is a team that definitely wants to make up from where they left off last year. Last season, I think the record was like 5-7. They did not get a bowl game. That is unacceptable both for Hugh Freeze and for the Auburn team. The Auburn fans, you guys expect more. You definitely deserve a whole lot more than that. But you have some things to look forward to this season. You have a lot of new offensive players. You have a lot of players coming back from last year's team. You're going to have a really good defense. You actually had a top 25 defense last season. You're going to have a top 25 defense this season. You just need the offense to be a little bit better. Really good wide receiver core. You got the new quarterback, Jackson Arnold, the big transfer coming over from Oklahoma. But let's kind of call it what it is. He did not look very good last season. He was a five-star quarterback coming out of high school. He could not accurately push the ball down the field, but maybe under Hugh Freeze's scheme, new surroundings, new settings, new scheme, you might be able to tap into what that potential was. Don't forget Bo Nix did not look good at Auburn, transferred over to the Oregon scheme, and it fit his skill set perfectly. Sometimes things just aren't a good match. Maybe you'll be able to get what Jackson Arnold's true ceiling is. You're going to have a really deep wide receiver core. You have Eric Singleton, one of the top-rated wide receivers in the transfer portal, transferring over from Georgia Tech, and some people are billing this as a top 5 national wide receiver core. Coleman, Singleton Jr., Simmons, Kane, Thompson, Fields. There's a lot of weapons there. You have Jackson Arnold, and Jackson Arnold, he's not just a passer. He's not a mobile quarterback, but he can extend plays with his legs. He is definitely pretty quick. He can do things, but he's always keeping his eye looking down the field. You have Cobb, Alston at the running back position. The offense should be better than where it was last year, and that's something that should give you a lot of promise this season because that's what held you back. It was not the defense, it was the offense. And of course, like every single season, you had that very close game versus Alabama. You barely lost it, guys. You've almost achieved it multiple seasons now. You just got to be able to close out the fourth quarter, but it shows what this team is capable of. They can compete with one of the best teams roster-wise in the nation. Whenever they want the game, they can compete on the field, and there's a lot of pressure on Hugh Freeze this season. He has to get over those blocks. He has to have a good year here. He's been there for a while. Hugh Freeze, he's beaten the big coaches before, very accomplished coach, but he's calling plays now. This is his team. This is his roster. He's recruited them through high school, worked the portal. Now it is on. He has to put the product on the field. Vegas right now has them at 7.5 wins for the 2025 season. So that's kind of that foundational piece that we'll be using to gauge if this team's going to overachieve or underachieve. They're kind of right down the middle. This team can easily overachieve or underachieve. They're kind of right down the middle there, but what are they going to be able to do? Let's not waste some more time. Let's start running through these games one by one. They're going to open up the regular season Saturday, August 30th at Baylor, going out of conference to the Big 12. Waco, Texas, Baylor. Dave Aranda's squad actually finished last season really hot. They won like their last 4 or 5 straight games to end the regular season. Aranda was on the hot seat. He was feeling the pressure, but his team stepped up massively. They were able to move the ball. He is a defensively minded coach. They're going to continue to improve on the defensive side as well. Baylor has Sawyer Robinson coming back. This guy had a really good year last year. He's more experienced in this scheme. They're going to have the offensive weapon. They're going to have an improved offensive line. They have Bryson Washington back, Pendergrass back. They have a lot of weapons there. They're going to be a run-focused team running right at you. But this Auburn defense, they don't really care. They are a top 25 defense from last season with a lot of starters coming back. They can compete with anyone. They are an SEC team built from the trenches out. Both of these teams, talented, under-radar rosters, but guys, just right off the gate, I don't want to hear you say that Baylor has no chance to compete because it's Big 12 versus SEC. That does not matter here. Week 1, crazy things happen. Jackson Arnold, first true game as an Auburn Tiger, how does he respond? If it turns into a higher scoring shootout, is he capable of competing here? Don't forget, he does not have much experience in this scheme, and he's not starting out the season with a couple cupcakes like most teams are. Auburn wasn't afraid to go schedule an out-of-conference Division I Power 4 foe. They have a very difficult schedule this season, including their out-of-conference schedule. When I'm looking at this game, Baylor in the same scheme, same coaches, with the veteran quarterback coming back, with the running game they have, I think it's going to be close. I think Baylor's going to eke out a very, very close win, like a 28, 27, 30, 27 type game. One possession game, Baylor wins, and Auburn starts out the season 0-1. But they show in that first game what their strengths are. They will continue to get better week by week as Jackson Arnold gets more experience in this scheme. So don't shut off the video just because I said they lose week 1. There's still a lot of games left over. Coming off that loss on the road, Auburn gets to open up their home slate here. Saturday, September 6th versus Ball State. Ball State bringing back a lot of starters from last year's team. Very experienced squad, but unfortunately for them, they were an awful team last season, so they're bringing in a lot of starters here that did not play well last season. They might be better than last year, but they were like 130th in defense. They're going to get steamrolled here. Auburn lost game 1. They want to make up for it. They're going to be out for revenge, and unfortunately for Ball State, they're just the next victim on the schedule. I have Auburn winning this game. I have Auburn winning this game handedly at home. They're going to win it 45-17, and they're now 1-1. In the next game, you have week 3. You have South Alabama coming in here Saturday, September 13th. South Alabama coming to Auburn. They have Major Applewhite is actually their head coach. Very familiar. Been around the country. Been a coordinator at a lot of different schools throughout his history. He runs a pretty good offense. They're going to be a spread up tempo offense. They're going to be able to score some points, especially in garbage time once Auburn puts the second, third string guys in. But the point is, Auburn's going to have those second and third string guys in the second half of the game because they're going to have steamrolled and curb stomped them the first half. I have Auburn winning this one 40-24, and they're now 2-1. And how about this next game, week 4? This is personal for both of these schools. Saturday, September 20th, going to Norman, Oklahoma to play the Sooners. Jackson Arnold, school he was playing for last season, gets a chance to take some revenge. The fans, for some reason, really hate Jackson Arnold. He left the school, did not play well last year. This is personal for them, but Jackson Arnold also doesn't like the scheme, doesn't like the fit from last season. He wants to show that he made the right decision when he transferred to Auburn. So he has the revenge factor. Which one's going to come out on top? Both these coaches feeling the heat right now. You have Hugh Freeze. He has to show improvements this season. They have to take steps forward. Same thing can be said for Brent Venables, defensive-minded coach. They actually had a top 20 defense last season, but their offense was a complete joke. And unfortunately for them, Jackson Arnold was the guy that was leading that offense, but it just did not fit his skill set in any way whatsoever. They had a completely depleted wide receiver core. That's not the case this season. They're going to be physical at the line of scrimmage. They can line up with Auburn. They can compete with them, but Auburn can also compete with Oklahoma. It is talent on talent, 4- and 5-star players facing off. Starting out a very difficult SEC schedule. Auburn does not have an easy schedule this season. They have to win these games to try to gain some momentum to get them started early. With Oklahoma, the big news is obviously John Mateer, #1 transfer portal quarterback transferring over. He's a guy who can throw for 3,500 yards. He can run for 800 to 1,000 yards easily. He's a guy who might be competing for the Heisman this season. Vegas odds, he is top 3 right now, preseason Vegas odds to win the Heisman. That's the type of player they have. This game is in Norman, Oklahoma. And don't forget John Mateer. He has Arbuckle, his offensive coordinator from Washington State, also came with him to Oklahoma. He's in the same scheme, the same system with better players. And that is not the case for Jackson Arnold. Auburn fans, you might hate me here. I'm going to go with Oklahoma winning this game. I have it being very close, though. They win it 24-20, and Auburn is 2-2. But guys, like I said before, do not panic. There's still a lot of season left over. And then after that very physical game, another extremely physical matchup, a line of scrimmage trench warfare matchup, Saturday, September 27th at the Texas A&M Aggies. Very difficult place to play. College Station, the fans are going to be rabid. This is a Mike Elko team. They are disciplined. They play defense. They line up. They want to beat you at the line of scrimmage. One of the best top 10 overall rosters loaded with 4- and 5-star players. Marcel Reed going to be the starting quarterback starting out. They have their running back fully healthy. They want to drain the clock. Play time of possession, they want to line up in the eye, they want to run it right at you. They are going to force you to compete with them in the trenches for 4 quarters. How does Auburn respond? Namely, How does Jackson Arnold respond? They're going to be trying to get him in the third and long situations, force him to have to beat them vertically, pushing the ball down the field. But Auburn does have a much better wide receiver core this season. You cannot underestimate that. But I do think the Aggies are going to walk away with the win here. 30-27. Again, another very, very close game, but Auburn is showing they can compete with these top 25 teams. This will be back-to-back weeks where they play the top 25 squad. They're 2-3 right now. Things might be looking bad. They're going to get a little worse before they get better, but that's my point here. They will get better. Jackson Arnold will hit the ground running second half of the season as he gets more set in this offense going down the stretch. And there's just no let up for the middle portion of the schedule. Another top 25 matchup, a top 10 matchup actually. Saturday, October 11th versus Georgia Bulldogs. The big thing you have going here is they are coming to Auburn. They are playing you at your home with Georgia. A top 3, some might say the number 1 overall roster in college football. Gunnar Stockton taking over for Carson Beck at the quarterback position. A lot of transfer wide receivers coming in here, namely Zachariah Branch, one of the best slot wide receivers in all of college football. Gunnar Stockton going to have a completely different game plan than Carson Beck. He's a more mobile, dual-threat quarterback. Georgia really has to focus on that run game. It was a massive letdown last year. Their wide receivers actually also led college football in drops last season. 3 of the top 5 players in college football were Georgia Bulldogs for drops. They had butterfingers the entire season. They're going to be better. I don't like Mike Bobo, but you have to love Kirby Smart. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to be playing for a national championship here. Auburn, on the other hand, they are playing to upset this team. But I have Georgia walking away with the win. I have their defense dominating this game, getting a lot of pressure on Jackson Arnold. Georgia wins this one 30-18, and Auburn is 2-4. I said no reason to panic. You're going to play great second half. You're 2-4. Hugh Freeze probably feeling a ton of pressure. Some people are going to be calling for his job. They're going to completely rebound, use this as some momentum for the second half of the season, but they're 2-4. Next game, you have a team that's coming off back-to-back 10-win season, Saturday, October 18th, versus the Missouri Tigers. The Tigers versus the Tigers. They lost a lot of their pieces from last season. They lost Cook. They lost Luther Burden. Those guys are off to the NFL. They're having to replace a lot of production. But one thing this team does, they play and coach to the talent on their team. They get the most out of their team. Give this coaching staff a team of 3 stars. They will get them top 25. They play to their skill position strengths here. But I have Auburn now. They are on a mission to salvage the season, salvage the job for Hugh Freeze. And I think Jackson Arnold really starts to play some good, solid football here with that wide receiver core, with that run game, with that offensive line. They start to lean on teams second half. I have Auburn winning this one, but it's going to be a lower scoring game. They win it 24-20, and they're 3-4. Then you have Arkansas the next week, Saturday, October 25th, at Arkansas, going to play the Razorbacks in their home field. Arkansas is always a very hard team to gauge because they always have the same record, like 6 or 7 wins, but they're extremely competitive football team. Last season, top 35 defense, top 30 offense. Taylon Green back at the quarterback position, dual threat quarterback. They compete in every single game they are in. A lot of one-possession losses versus top 25 teams. If they were in another conference, they would be a top 25 team. Just unfortunately for them, they are in the SEC, and the SEC is very deep. But this team, they have the physicality. They have the run game. They are run-focused. They want to run it right at you. It's going to test Auburn's offensive line, that front seven, but I think Auburn's going to pull out a close win. They kind of stretch it out a little more fourth quarter, make it a 2-possession win, but it's going to be a good win nonetheless. 27-17, Auburn wins this one. They're 4-4 now, back to 500. Then you have Kentucky the very next game, Saturday, November 1st, versus the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky's one of those teams, Mark Stoops here, they are disciplined, they are physical, they always have a great defense, but their offense is always from 1975. It's just not a modern offense. They are never able to consistently move the ball. One thing you always get is a very competitive first half. It's very close. Sometimes they're even up first half, but then they get wore out second half. They don't have the depth of these other teams. I have Auburn pulling away second half, leaning. The run game is what makes the difference here, and it's Jackson Arnold's legs getting out of pressure. I have Auburn winning this one 24-13, and they're 5-4 now, gaining some steam. And Saturday, November 18th at Vanderbilt, Nashville, Tennessee. Do not underestimate Vanderbilt. If you do, you might find out what happened to Alabama last season where they got curb stomped in Nashville. Diego Pavia, he's been playing college football for like 17 years at this point. He's a very experienced quarterback. He's a dual threat quarterback. He loves to take chances here, but Auburn's defense, if you try to take chances on them, they're going to create turnovers. They're going to create havoc. You have to make sure to bottle up Pavia, keep him in the pocket, force him to vertically beat you passing the ball down the field. Auburn, they have the momentum here. I do not foresee what happened to Alabama happening to Auburn this season. They go to Nashville. They beat Vanderbilt at their stadium. They win this one 34-24, and they're 6-4. And then the second to last game right before the big one, Saturday, November 22nd versus Mercer. This is a gimme game. This is going to be a massive, massive spread once we get to this game. There is 0% chance. There better be 0% chance of Auburn losing this one. I have them winning this one, winning it big. They're going to pull away with the win 47-14. They are 7-4 leading up to the Iron Bowl. And that's what you have coming up next, the final game of the regular season, Saturday, November 29th versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. Coming to Auburn here, this is the Iron Bowl, one of the better rivalries in college football. Bama's won, 6 of the last 7 of these matchups. It's the way that Auburn's lost that makes this game so painful. They've had it the last couple seasons, could not close it out in the fourth quarter. That's what's made the difference. You have to be able to win these games down the stretch in the fourth quarter, crunch time. Alabama, obviously, top 10, top 5 overall roster in all of college football, loaded with 4- and 5-star players. Jalen Milroe is gone. You have Simpson taking over at the quarterback position. You are going to have Grubbs coming back as the offensive coordinator. That is Kalen DeBoer's guy. He does what Kalen DeBoer wants to do. A pass-first focused team, vertically pushing the ball down the field. They don't want to dink and dunk. They want to hit you for 30 to 40 yards down the field every single possession nonstop. With that deep passing game, that should push those safeties back, make the linebackers start dropping down. That then opens up the run game, play action, things kind of complement one another. Look for Auburn to have more of that look for Alabama to have more of that Kalen DeBoer look. And you have Ryan Williams, one of the best wide receivers in all of college football. He was 17 last season, had 1,000 yards. I think this game is going to be close, but I do think Alabama's going to pull away. This Bama team should be better than they were in last year. A more complete, well-rounded team built in Kalen DeBoer's image. I have Alabama winning this one 34-24. It's the fourth quarter. There's a turnover. That's what gives Bama that second possession touchdown, where it makes the score look a little better, but it's going to be close the entire game. I have Auburn finishing the regular season 7-5. Vegas has them at 7.5 wins, so you might say that that's underachieving, but it's definitely improving over last season with a new quarterback in here. You improve by 2 wins. That means next year, 8-9 wins. Things continue to tick up. Taking some pressure off of Hugh Freeze here with a 7-5 record. You might not make the SEC championship, obviously, with that record, but that gets you a bowl game where you can get that 8th win, and you will have overachieved on the season, gaining you some momentum going into 2026. Guys, that's our predictions for the Auburn Tigers 2025. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, by all means, drop them below. Do you agree? Disagree? What are your predictions on Auburn for this year? Let us know in the comment section. I will respond to every single comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, make sure to check out the pinned comment down below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. And of course, as always, thank you for watching.